Hey everybody, it's GauntletX, and welcome back to another Premier Draft of Duskmourn, House of Horror. Without further ado, let's get into the pack one, pick one, and this is definitely a season to taste kind of pick. We have four very good uncommons, and they're literally in every single color. We got white, blue, black, or gruel, and all of these cards are quite good. Great removal spells with Withering Torment and Stay Hidden, Stay Silent, a removal spell on a stick with Fear of Abduction, or a very good early game threat with Wildfire, Wicker Folks. You can kind of just take whatever card is in the decks that you're the best at drafting, and you enjoy the most here, because you do want to prioritize those slightly higher when all four of those cards are basically equivalent in power level. So I'm just going to go for Fear of Abduction. I just like the artwork a lot. I think it's the coolest of the cards. It's also the funnest to me. It's great to reanimate it because then you're not casting it. You don't have to exile one of your creatures to play it in the first place. I just think it's an excellent finisher. So for pick two, we've got Scorching Dragonfire, very premium, very cheap removal that exiles, which is pretty important in this format. We have the Rakdos Signpost uncommon. If we had taken the black removal spell, this would be fine. But obviously it's off of the Fear of Abduction. Splitskin Doll, very decent little card draw play. Lots and lots of power 2 or less creatures in this format, so if you're just playing a relatively aggressive deck in general, it should be really easy to trigger this. So we could stay mono white to take that, stick with the Fear of Abduction. It's probably like a tiny bit worse than Scorching Dragonfire, but it's certainly one of the best cards in the pack. I'll just go for the nice little value play. Pick 3. Okay. Withering Torment, Glimmer Seeker, maybe Winter's Intervention are my favorite 3 cards here. We can keep things pretty simple taking a Glimmer Seeker. It's going to synergize really well with Fear of Abduction if we manage to get a survival trigger on this thing, spitting out a 1/1. And this is actually one of the few survival creatures with like a big enough body that if you're on the play, it's not that hard to get your first survival trigger with this card. Because it's got the 3 toughness. Although like 2 mana 2/2s with survival can be kind of difficult to get going, but 3/3 is somewhat sturdy for that early in the game. Pick 4? Well, pick 4 Rite of the Moth means we can certainly try to reanimate some Fear of Abductions to not even have to exile one of our own creatures. It's an insanely good deal. Very good Signpost uncommon, solid reason to be heading in that direction. There is just an on-color removal spell instead. Better in slower, more defensive decks, but decent in anything. I think I'm taking the Rite of the Moth. I cannot resist. Pick 5. Not too much here. Possessed Goat is a very filler way to discard cards. There's some better ways to mill yourself with cards like Appendage Amalgam. Kind of word souped that a little bit. And there's like a 4 mana 2/2 where each player discards a card. That's my favorite way to discard reanimation targets. I think I'm just taking the removal spell of this pack. We'll take the Seized from Slumber. Pick 6, there it is. Fanatic of the Harrowing is an excellent way to ditch your reanimation cards to reanimate with your Rite of the Moth. Your reanimation targets, I should say, your really expensive creatures. Pick 7. All right, well, it's going to be an easy draft. There's some good Boros going this late. Irreverent Gremlin and Vicious Clown. But we're also getting the tools to build a good Reanimator deck here. Yeah, we're literally already ready. Pick 8 Horde Caller, though? Good lord. Pick 7 Gremlin was, like, pretty good, but pick 8 Horde Caller is probably wild enough to speculate on. Don't really need more than like 3 Fanatics, and I have 2 more packs to get a 3rd copy. So I'm going to speculate in that pick. Yeah, but then these are really filler cards for Reanimator. This is very good for Eerie white decks. So like blue-white particularly, since you're playing 3 enchantments, or you're getting 3 Eerie triggers off this card. So super good in blue-white, but pretty filler in black-white, as are these creatures. These are just filler for most black decks. So I'm going to take the really good red combat trick in case red ends up super open. +3/+0 means you're going to kill almost anything with that. And then you leave your creature behind by just leaving a 2/2 manifested behind. Pick 10 Disturbing Mirth means literally nobody is in Rakdos. And with how late we were seeing some good red cards, leaving ourselves open to becoming the Rakdos drafter is certainly a spot to be if we see that pick 10. And now the ticket booth plays really well in the Rakdos deck because you're spitting out a 2/2 body and leaving this enchantment behind that you can sacrifice. All of the sacrifice cards in this set can also sacrifice enchantments. And a literal last pick percussionist. Red is incredibly, incredibly open. And I wish that I stayed slightly more open slightly earlier. Took the Gremlin before the Horde Collar. I think that we could classify as just like genuinely a bit of a mistake. The early picks, though, sticking pretty white was super fun. We were still getting great cards like Doll and Glimmerseeker and stuff. But I'm pretty sure Rakdos is just where to be in this pod, and we're going to start moving in that direction. That said, none of these are incredible cards for Rakdos. I could still just take it on Settling Twins. But Fear of Lost Teeth has a nice little death trigger. Fine sack card, we'll take that. Pack 2, pick 2. Glassworks is awesome in this deck. It's going to be your cheap removal spell that you can also sack later because it's an enchantment sitting on your board. Obviously, the Egotist is good to give you something to sack your cards, and a second Horde Collar would also be pretty wild. Such a good curve topper. Plays the offense and defense at the same time, slamming in for 4 damage and spitting out chump blockers. Feel like Horde Collar's busted enough to take it over the Glassworks here, and red's hopefully open enough. We get some random, Scorching Dragonfires, which are beautiful to grab. Pick 4. Boiler Bilge's Ripper's fine in this archetype, although I have 2 even better 5-drops, and I'm not going to have room for infinite 5-mana cards here, so I could just play the 2-mana 3/1. It's unlikely that this survival trigger ends up doing much of anything for our deck, but still a 2-mana 3/1 on curve in an aggro deck would be fine. And we have no 2-mana creatures yet. I think I'm still taking the Ripper, but it's actually kind of close there because we don't want to overload on 5-mana cards, even if the 5-drop is so much more synergistic for what we have going for us right now. Grab the Prize and Fear of Lost Teeth. Both of these are fine. Get the Fear of Lost Teeth. Pick 6. Yep, red is open. Pick 6 Glassworks. Join the party. Pick 7 Percussionist. Pick 8 Leech, because I have no 2-mana creatures yet, although the Clown looks okay. We have a lot of 2 powerless creatures. Probably just flexible enough to be like barely main deckable. When your opponent casts a single target removal spell, it's going to be a blowout. But it's also going to be sitting in your hand doing nothing a lot of the time. We wield the Egotist, which is wonderful. This card is definitely good for the sack deck. It's one of the sacrifice outlets, sacrifice enablers there where you get to spend that mana, sacking your stuff to get value. Have a nice indestructible threat in the meantime. You also drain your opponent for life every time you sack a card, even if you sack your cards to other effects, like the Disturbing Mirth. I have double Carnival here, so we could randomly splash in a tiny bit of white. There's some really big reason to do that. But here's a 3-mana 3/3 haste that shuts off our opponent's ability to gain life for the rest of the game. Oh my god, yeah. 3-mana 3/3 haste whenever it's dealt damage, deal damage to any other target. So Magical Christmas Land is you play this when your opponent has like 2 3/3s on board. Yeah, that would be Magical Christmas Land, because then you kill both their 3/3s with your 1 Nemesis. Seems really good. Pack 3, pick 2. Grab the Prize. Winter's Intervention. Got Glassworks and Dragonfire. I certainly don't have infinite removal yet. Intervention would be playable. I also wouldn't mind a machete here. A little more big creatures higher up on the curve. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 creatures right now. I think I'm looking for more creatures over small removal. I'd really like to find a black removal spell that can destroy anything, like Murder. That is exactly the kind of removal I'm looking for here. So we've got the red removal to kill the small stuff. Final Vengeance works as well. Incredible removal spell for this archetype. I think I take that over a second Ticket Booth, and we might wheel the Ticket Booth because it's not a super high priority card for some of the other red decks. And red is pretty open in this pod. And here's the pick 5 Disturbing Mirth because we are the only Rakdos player. Love to see it. Pick 6. If we hit Delirium, Cultist is fine. It's 2 creatures off the 1 card because you play it, it dies, you bring it back later. If we find a few good 2-mana creatures, this deck will be pretty perfect. But even if we don't, the deck looks solid. It just has a little bit of an awkward mana curve. Take the Inferno here. On 3, on 4 removal spells. I don't know, I think this archetype works well with just a ridiculous amount of removal though, so I'm just going to up that still. Ooh, there we go. There's a good 2-drop. Piggy Bank. Yeah, this is way too good at 2 mana to take a Cracked Skull over it. Although I do think the one spot where you can make Cracked Skull pretty playable is a deck that has 2 or more copies of Fear of Lost Teeth. Because then combat gets really annoying for your opponent. If your Fear of Lost Teeth ever dies, it's going to kill their Cracked Skulled creature. Innocuous Rat is a wonderful pickup. We're looking for more 2-mana creatures on curve, and this is a great one to sacrifice. Sorry, Most Valuable Slayer, you are definitely great, but I'm working on my mana curve here. Pick 10, I'm definitely not playing Bear Trap. Plenty of better removal. Grab the Prize or a Teddy Bear. Do I need 2 drops bad enough to take a Teddy Bear? No, I have 8. No, I have 7 creatures that cost 2 or less mana. So I'm fine. Alright, I can take another Leech. Although another Ripper with 2 Disturbing Mirths. Awkward curve is awkward. We're going to go for 4 or 5 mana cards. And here's an Amalgam. Okay. Should be a pretty quick deck to build here. Because I certainly have some filler. We can cut 6 cards. So first and foremost, I want to get my creatures and my non-creatures sorted so I can see how the exact mana curve of creatures is. So usually I do that by just doing TCR, that means type creature, but depending on the format, depending on what's in your deck, sometimes, like because I'm counting Machete as a creature and Ticket Booth as a creature, we're going to have to do some fancy shenanigans to get these to up our creature count. So I can't just say O means Oracle text, that means it would be in the rules text somewhere on the card. I can't just go, oh, manifest, or it's also going to put turn inside out up there, and I don't want to count turn inside out as a creature. So instead, we have to get a little bit fancy here. We can say type equipment, because our only equipment in the deck, I have to say or type equipment, because our only equipment in the deck is adding to our creature count with the Machete. And then or name ticket for Ticket Booth. There we go. Now all the creatures are up top and the non-creatures are at the bottom. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 creatures. Can cut a couple of those and still have 15 to 17. Could even cut 4 of them and still have 15 creatures. So it looks like 3 is where we're the most clumped up on the curve, but we're actually pretty good at getting Delirium. So I don't love cutting Cultist. I certainly don't want to cut Ticket Booth, Screaming Nemesis or Egotist, so I guess Amalgam gets dropped here out of all the 3 mana cards. One more cut. We could cut one of the Fanatics. Or one of our 1-drops, like one of the Fear Lost Teeth is fine. I guess I could still drop the Cultist. It is 1 toughness. And in fact, the Disturbing Mirths later in the game, if we manage to sacrifice these, do also count as a creature. So I think we could cut like 3 creatures here, really. As long as we still keep many ways to sack them. So we have Egotist, Double Ripper, Final Vengeance. I'm gonna cut like a Fanatic here. And 3 non-creature cards to cut. Malfunction's a little narrow. Grab the prize when I have 2 Disturbing Mirths is unnecessary. This is going to be better card draw. Just like a land. Kind of hard to cut a land in a deck with 5 mana spells. Double Ripper, Double Horde Caller, and Inferno. Also a 6 mana room we could activate. 5 mana room. Rather drop like a 1-drop here. But I did just cut a bunch of creatures already. Maybe I could drop the 5 mana removal. I still have Murder, Glassworks, Dragonfire, and Final Vengeance. Kind of also have 2 of the Rippers doing 2 damage. I mean, that only kills small stuff, but still sort of adds the removal. I'm going to do that. Cut the 5 mana removal there. We've got 2 Rippers, Glassworks, Murder, Dragonfire, and Vengeance. So, yeah. Solid little Rakdos deck here. Pretty excited to see how it plays out. So without further ado, let's just hop into the gameplay and see how it does. Alright, here we are on the draw for game 1. Really nice curve. At least turn 2 and turn 3. The top end is wonderful with the Horde Collar. Now I have the Glassworks to sack to the Disturbing Mirth. Things are looking groovy. Playing against Orzhov here, so they can get some big scary creatures. Wonder if they'll be as scary as their mismatched lands there. I don't love that. Don't you dare. No, the Seized from Slumber. Wonderful removal for the Orzhov decks, because they tend to be slower Reanimator-focused decks. They're going to win the late game by getting some ridiculously big creatures for cheap. 4 mana to get the 4/5 flyer reanimated. And this is extra awkward too, because the Glassworks only does 4 damage. It wouldn't be enough to kill the 4/5 if they reanimate that. Just slamming it down to have it on board for the Mirth. Although I guess I'll have 1/1 tokens on board with the Horde Collar, but the alternative this turn is to play absolutely nothing. And I can still draw towards more removal with Mirth, drawing 2 cards. Let's see if they have a 4 mana reanimation spell. They do not. They play the Defiled Crypt, so later they can Cadaver Lab, back the 2/2, and get another one. Horde Collar is going to be beautiful here against the empty board. Give us that Disturbing Mirth fuel so we can keep the Shattered Yard around. Maybe start pinging our opponent for their last few points of life. Fear of Immobility down the Horde Collar, but I can still trigger it by attacking with anybody. It doesn't have to be the Horde Collar itself. So let's sack the 1/1 draw 2 and see what we find. Fear of Lost Teeth, that's a pretty good one, but I think I have to be mana efficient and go for the Machete this turn. Also a very good one. It doesn't matter what I manifest, unless I hit a Delirium card, so I guess we'll put the Enchantment Engrave for Delirium. Alright, Cadaver Lab is going. Creature from grave to the hand and get a 2/2 on board. Cool. That draw is not cool. Could machete up the Horde Caller, but I think we're just sending in the 4/3 body here. Keep trading into their creatures and moving the machete to other 2/2s and trading into their creatures. Slowly working through their stuff this way. Bold trick there. This could be a big manifested creature, but it is going to play well for them. What? Okay, I assumed that auto tap wasn't a complete moron, so I did let it auto tap, even though it asked, "Are you sure you want to auto tap?" In what universe do you ever tap out a black for that? Okay, well, thanks auto tapper, very cool. The only spell in our hand is a black spell. This requires 0 black mana to do. I don't know what auto tapper was thinking and why the auto tap solution changed. Because it even did give me the blurb, it was like, auto solution changed. Do you want to still do this? Okay, Ghostly Dancers is one of the strongest rares in the format. That single-handedly carried us to a 7-win run with our last Boros deck. So that's a problem. However, we may have a solution here. The Ripper Leech nonsense could be enough to kill our opponent. Shattered Yard certainly popping off. 3 more hits to kill them. And Fear of Lost Teeth is 1 more hit, so just 2 more points of damage. I can just Trump attack with Fear of Lost Teeth, ping them for 1, and then let Shattered Yard ping them for 1, and that'll be lethal. Alright, wonderful stuff. We started off 1-0, heading into Game 2. Game 2, here we go. This might be a horrible idea, because the mana is bad, but if we draw a Swamp, it's going to start popping off, and we do have a turn 3 play no matter what. Ooh, we get to pop off! Disturbing Mirth, sack a Disturbing Mirth is absolutely hilarious, and also pretty decent. Here's Ticket Booth. Just play 2 Disturbing Mirths in 1 turn next turn. That'll be funny. Cryptid Inspector, dang. No attacks in then. Well, I lied. Probably want to Scorch this thing before they play any more face downs, so while it's still in reach. I wouldn't mind trading a turn inside out into it, though. Okay, they're not going to let that happen. They're just going to take 2. Fair enough. Disturbing Mirth it still is, then. Mana for Machete plus turn inside out. The efficient turn. Threats around every corner. So they grab a land every time they manifest Dread now. There's going to be a lot in blue-green. They milled a swamp but grabbed an island, so they have something for double blue in hand. Pretty likely. Do I want to turn inside out against a 2-2? Not really, but it's the only thing I can do while playing Machete. It might even be worth flipping this up and using turn inside out to draw the extra card if I'm going to turn inside out anyway. I guess if they don't block, we just deal 2, and that's pretty good. If they do block, I wouldn't mind flip up, turn inside out, draw a card, keep a 2-2 on board, and then play Mirth instead of Machete. But yeah, if they don't block, let's just play Machete. Say its name. Mill 3, pick up a land or creature, and Zimone! I'm so tired of Zimone! There's so many rares in the set, but I feel like I play against the same ones every draft. Started with Unstoppable Slasher like every game of the early access event, and now it's Zimone lately. Oh, they don't pick her up though, they go for the swamp? Does that mean reanimation spell on her? Anyway, no, second, threats around every turn. Okay. I am so fine with this. Zimone would have been spitting out a 7/7 next turn. I guess this could still mean they reanimate Zimone next turn and then play the 7/7. Oh wait, no, they could have... No, they wouldn't have been manifesting, so they wouldn't have been grabbing these lands. Yeah, never mind. They would not have triggered Zimone if they picked her up. And they're just going to pass to our turn. Fine. Screaming Nemesis. They have to double block to kill it, and if they double block, I also kill the third face down with it. That strikes me as somewhat filthy. I guess if they do this, it's going to shoot their face for 4 instead of their other creature. So I can turn inside out so that I get to shoot their face. Or I can not turn inside out, in which case I just kill these anyway. I think I need to keep as many threats popping on this board, so I'm going to turn inside out. So that I get a 2/2 out of this arrangement. Shoot the face for 4. Now they can't gain any life if they hit any life gain. Oh my god, look who's here. Flip up my thingy-madooter. Everybody knows the thingy-madooter. Flip up a 3/2 as well. You know, Razorkin thingy-madood. The human clown berserker. Swarm Weaver. Death Touch. Get out of here. Oh my god. Omnivorous Flytrap. Put 4 +1/+1 counters on board every time it attacks. Wait, what? Oh no, it needs Delirium to get the counters. It needs 6 or more to double the counters. Okay, so it's 2 counters. Not just Delirium. Well, this sucks. I guess Egotist can kill them over time. We have enough permanents. all in on Egotist. Because they can't gain life for the rest of the game. So, yeah, if they can't kill the Egotist, it will kill them because they have no ability to gain life. Okay, the only thing I don't like about block chump here is it means that if they have instant speed removal, they can kill Egotist with it. That said, their main colors are green-blue. And most of green's removal is sorcery speed damage-based removal that we can stop with Egotist, and most of blue's removal can't be stopped by Egotist. Even if it's indestructible, it's not going to do anything. So, I think I am going to chump sack here. All the cards, man. Bear Trap. I guess it'll get me. Yeah, they are Delirium. Another artifact. That's frustrating. Yep. And that's just game. Because I got no way to sack the Mirth now. I have as many lands as my opponent that has tutored out like 4 lands. Jesus Christ. Alright. That's really disappointing. Our opponent has some super powerful bombs here. We got some super floody draws. But it still would have been winnable if I played around instant speed removal. I think it was reasonable seeing all green-blue from them to just go for the extra value, extra damage off the sack, and try to speed up the clock to make it less likely they could outrace us with this nonsense. But they had the instant speed damage-based removal, so it got us. That's just really frustrating to see that technically we probably could have won if we played it astronomically safe here. It is what it is. And there's the grasp kind of removal. They can just grasp their own Swarm Weaver and get 2 more flyers. Exile an artifact or enchantment at the ready as well. Yeah, with that, with the draw of Leech into Fear of Lost Teeth, we definitely would have killed them if we had just kept Egotist. Still not going to be enough to outrace them, though. We're dying in 2 turns in the sky, even with the life gain. They can also exile this Fear of Lost Teeth. Yeah, I'm just going to move on. All right, here we are on the play for game 3. Get things rolling with our piggy bank. Rakdos mirror match, here we go. Disturbing Mirth on the piggy bank set the treasure up to play a turn 4 Horde Caller is actually kind of sick. Ew. Oh my god, that's so good here. I mean, any 2-mana removal would have been incredible here to just completely shut off our plays. But Chainsaw specifically, as the first card you play the whole game, means this thing's going to be ridiculously big later. It's also literally perfect for a mirror match. Well, this is horrendous. See it now, it's going to be doing +2. At least I get to play 2 Horde Callers in a row, so we've got a shot just off the power of that alone, but again, this Chainsaw, they're going to be able to put it on 1/1s and make them like 6/1s by the time this game ends so easily. This card is busted. 2-mana sorcery, deal 3 to a creature. Premium common, I mean that's Scorching Dragonfire. This is that and a win condition all in one. It's like 2 very good cards stapled together. They have a turn inside out. I'm gonna lose my mind. They just go block, turn inside out, get their 2/2, kill my Horde Caller. Chainsaw's now at 3 counters. Does it have 4 counters? Nope, 3 counters. So it does count your own creatures dying, but if 2 creatures die at the exact same time, it only puts 1 counter on it. So if 2 creatures trade, you just get 1 counter. Or actually, even if like everything, if you board wipe, you get 1 counter. Oh god. Wow, they are really junting us out. Double Brood Spinner Chainsaw. This is a really good looking start. The Brood Spinners can double block a Horde Caller, so I might be on Final Vengeance here, which would be really sad. Because if I Final Vengeance, I'm not playing the other Horde Caller right now. Is that only 2 to equip? It's 3, right? Yeah, it's 3 to equip. Don't you dare. No! 2 mana, 5 damage to a creature, and also, by the way, I'm going to play a rare 5/5 Trample Haste that I can reanimate off of its own ability. Our opponent has played many S+ tier pack 1 pick 1 cards in a row. So it ain't looking good. Yeah, their plays are allergic to commons. The only common they've actually cast is a removal spell. The Emergence. This is already active, so when it attacks, they get another combat step, and they have the second Emergence for the second Horde Caller. Their Brood Spinners are at least 4 1/1 flyers apiece. I'm at 17 life. I think I have to kill a Brood Spinner over the FOMO. Kill all the 1/1 flyers. Or not flyers. Reach creatures. Kill all the 1/1 chumpers. Okay, that was a really good manifest. Oh my god. They're at 7. If they equip something with chainsaw, maybe I can get them to attack in and then we just block with the nemesis and shoot them with all the chainsaw damage. They definitely can't attack here. Another disturbing mirth, not bad. Select the 1/1 that pings and ping Brood Spinner. If they block here, Nemesis can kill the worm, but then they can just delirium it. So I'd rather shoot their face. So, I mean, this gets 3 damage in no matter what. This eats that. They take 2, they're at 5. No, they would take 3 from Nemesis. So 3 from Nemesis. 2 from these two. They're at 2 life. Then I can Disturbing Mirth and finish off the Brood Spinner. Or put them to 1. I think this pans out. It's not going to lethal, but it's going to be profitable. Okay, if they do that, they're dead. Awesome. Thank you, Screaming Nemesis. Very cool! I think we were outclassed in card quality there. So if we didn't hit our only mythic in the deck, I think we're probably just getting crushed there. Like, we had to hit our only mythic and they had to not read it and make that like misplay to like guarantee the lethal. But wow. Yeah, they had the FOMO, the chainsaw, the balustrade worm, 2 brood spinners. These could have been 8 1/1s. They got the mana. This is a terrifying deck from our opponent, but luckily we had pretty much all of our most terrifying cards. It's the only reason that we could get there. Like, not only having the mythic, but these Razorkin Horde colors are our S+ tier uncommons, our pack 1 pick 1 worthy cards, similar to their brood spinners. All right. Again, if they survive, that chainsaw was stupid. +6, +0 at that point. But luckily they didn't, and we're 2-1 heading into game 4. You know, I guess an alternate way we could have played that out, because of the Nemesis thing's ability, I'm keeping because the Percussionists dig towards the swamp. So the Nightmare thing's ability, because of that, we could have played it out to where we just wait for them to chainsaw up something. And then, like, block, flip it up, surprise, you're dead, because your chainsaw thing has so much power that it just kills you. The problem with going for that line is if they chainsaw up a trampler, they'd only be doing 5 damage, and it would not be working out for us. They're going to flash in a 2/2, but that's just upside for us. I want to sack a 1/1 to draw a card right now. Thank you, opponent. I need to draw me lands. Not cool, deck. Not cool. Did I go full 17 with this one? Yep, I'm on full 17 lands. Just double checking. There we go. So the Percussionist still dug to the swamp, even if it didn't hit it immediately. Well, this machete's gone forever, but the Percussionist still certainly helped. I guess if they trade in a piggy bank, I'm dropping Machete. Yeah. So it gets them to not trade yet. My piggy bank has been shuffled away. Where are you, Watchdog? You're super bad against Fear of Lost Teeth. So I'm happy to see ya. That's not bad. I don't think I'm getting aggressive trying to get a single percussionist point of damage in. I'm probably going to hold on to this. Then I can sack a Fear of Lost Teeth to exile a good creature from our opponent later, and kill the Watchdog at the same time from its death trigger. So yeah, wait for something bigger like a Megalodon, 5/7 Vigilance or something. At least the wait room. Wait for the 5/5. Another Watchdog. I'm surprised they're playing those right now when we have the Fear of Lost Teeths on board instead of just holding them yet. Definitely can't play Fnatic. That card looks awful in this hand. But now I've got Murder up. Kuna. That's an okay Final Vengeance target. And I don't need to do any instant speed removal right now, so we'll go for the Vengeance instead. Have the Murder for the next threat. Cool. Holding on to this land, so I play Fnatic and discard it next turn if they still don't play anything. But if they do play something, we'll murder it. That's only a 2/3 right now, but it is going to get real big over time. I guess I can wait to kill it at least. Because even if it's like an 8/9, I can still murder it on a later turn. Uh-oh. Did we just give them Valvagoth reanimation? I wish I had that in my Black-White Reanimator draft we did recently. The one with the Luigi's Mansion thumbnail. This is exactly the kind of card I was really looking for when we just had a bunch of dirtily commons and uncommons to reanimate. And hello, Screaming Nemesis. What if I can get to a point where I turn inside out their creature? I shouldn't have let Auto Tapper do it. Why do I let it do anything? Because I could have had Murder up here. Okay. We are pretty unlikely to win, but maybe they can get a 10 power creature on board, and then I can deal 13 to them with Screaming Nemesis. Never mind. Now we're like really not winning. I can murder the 5/5. Yeah, murder the 5/5, keep taking Cryptid Inspector damage here. I don't know if I should have done this, because if either of these face downs can flip up, then the Inspector's gonna live. No flips, no flips, no flips, no flips. Oh my god, it actually works perfectly, and we're gonna wipe the whole board. It's all up to their 1 card in hand versus a 2/2 manifested card. Oh my god, it even was a creature, but it was a 4-mana creature. So they couldn't flip it there. I'm so lucky. I'm so absurdly lucky. Oh, I'm actually the unluckiest player ever. 5/5 Zimone with a 7/7. I need 3 black mana to cast both these. Oh my god, I don't want to play against Simone anymore. Time to take 7 to the face. Oh no, I'm so bad with prime numbers. I always think it's odd numbers that Simone works with. So I was expecting a 9/9 soon. I should have killed the 7/7, because they don't get another one until they have 11 lands. God dang it. Oh!
Looks like I gotta fight.
Have mercy.
My eyes are as sharp as
I beg you. Okay, one of the best signpost uncommons in the format is not mercy, opponent. Deck! Have mercy. Chump take 5 right now? That's nowhere near winning. I'll see what we draw into and then concede, probably. Ooh, baby, we're scooping. Could have actually done a fancy play there. We're still losing the game, but I could have, if I didn't care about having the mana up for whatever I drew into, could have played a land, flipped the Egotist, and sacked the Mirth in response to the Mirth enter trigger before it makes me sack the Egotist. That way I can leave a 2/2 behind, but then I'd be completely tapped out, so I wouldn't have the mana to play whatever I drew off of the Mirth. So if whatever I drew off the Mirth was going to be good enough to actually matter, then I needed to not do that fancy line. But because we drew Swamp Swamp, it would have played better to do it that way. Chump there, we are at 8 instead of 7, take 5. Still just lose the game, but it would have been cute. Would have been cute. We are 2-2, heading into game number 5. Okay, game number 5 on the play. This is awkward on the play because it's like a defensive hand where I just want to wait till turn 3 and then kill one of their cards and then Mirth the Glassworks. So now I'm going to end up Glassworking their 2-mana 2/2 so that I can get Mirth going. Cannot do anything else this turn, so I think I need to be casting spells here, getting the tempo going. I might Machete next turn. Flesh Burrower. Okay, I'm not going to Machete. I'm going to Fanatic. Traded 2/2 into a 2/2 Death Touch. Hello, Screaming Man. It's me! It's me when I see a third Zimone today. It's me when I see Tyvar! So many bombs today. Tyvar literally never dies. As long as they have another creature on board, they just tap that. So I can never attack into it. I can never block it. I can't play the game of Magic. Well, I do have one exile removal spell in the deck. So I imagine we are now digging for that. Because, yeah, then Tyvar wins the game once they get to 10 mana and they just double activate and super kill me. Or if they have enough, just like a wide board state, that'll kill me as well. The 5 mana part. Yeah, I mean, we just can't do anything in combat right now. So completely locks the early game. try to work on killing their other creatures to where they don't have the cards to tap Tyvar. So, like, we can Boiler Bilge's Ripper, sack the Mirth, kill the Flesh, Burrower next turn, and that'll be pretty decent. Okay, I really do not mind just clearing out the Burrower this way. Again, just trying to whittle down their creature and have less creatures out there for Tyvar. They could spend the 5 and activate Tyvar's ability, then they're tapped out when I play the Ripper, so I don't think that's their plan there, and it certainly isn't. It's a Kona, which I can't kill unless I hit a land, and I didn't. Had I hit a land, I could have played Fear of Lost Teeth and then Rippered the Kona for Exactsies. I guess I could play Screaming Nemesis. Actually get pretty good counterattacks in right now. Jam for 6. And Kona, even if Kona can't attack, Tyvar can give Kona the survival trigger so that they can put their best permanent from hand into play. The plus side here, though, is that Kona doesn't work with rooms. So it has to just be like a big creature or something. So I think I'm just going to piggy bank and force them to not attack with Kona that way. Although I guess they could just use Tyvar's trick, but then they're tapped out. But then it doesn't matter that they're tapped out because they're playing a creature for free. Shoot, yeah, no, this Wombo combo is still really bad for me. But they play a long neck pre-combat. Now I know they don't get to do that nonsense. But I also don't get to block. They just use Kona. Alright, my shirt is gonna drink some fruit punch real quick. I'm not dumb, you're dumb. At least their blocks are pretty bad. I can do the very stupid thing where I turn inside out their creature, so Nemesis does more damage. But also, yeah, these are all 3 power. Tyvar's gonna kill the absolute heck out of me if I don't randomly lethal them here. +X reactions are the greatest power among creatures they control. Hold the phone. This is certainly not right. This is the dumbest way to try to win this game. We're probably supposed to be cracking in here because their blocks aren't super good. But if we can see a Tyvar trigger over there, we can win the game. And that's so funny to me that I'm going to try to do it, even if it might push me to 2 and 3. Oh, please. Oh, please let me do this. 1 card in their hand? +X for X is the greatest power among creatures you control. It'd be 14 power, and we deal 14 damage to them. Our card... Active player, non-active player. So their creature's ability goes on the stack first, then ours goes on the stack. We deal 13 before they gain 2, right? I imagine it has to be how it works to live here. Oh, and I can't even live here. Oh, yeah, no, I'm giving it +7. So that's not lethal. Actually, in fact, since I have to let something through anyway, I'll double block that. Oh, right, and the long neck won't die anyway, because it's going to get the Tyvar buff. Okay, activate Tyvar, please. Yeah, they'll be tapped out, so they can't have a trick here. Yes! I'm so sure I'm buffing their Kona. Screaming Nemesis lets 14 their face. Yeah, baby! Woo! Turns out Nemesis is Tyvar's Nemesis. That's what it's referring to. Actually, the greatest response to Tyvar activation ever. That's so sick. Alright, that was the funnest way to possibly win that game, so I'm pretty happy to be 3-2 now as we head into game number 6. Alright, game 6. This looks wonderful. Fear of Lost Teeth and Piggy Bank both have pretty good death triggers, so the Disturbing Mirth is going to be happy. Can either sack the Piggy Bank to play the Ripper a turn sooner, or sack the Fear of Lost Teeth if they have a 1 toughness card we really want to kill. And depending on what we draw, that could also affect the play here. Like, if I draw my Hasty 5-drop that spits out 1/1s, I'll definitely sack the Piggy Bank. That is super worth playing a turn early. But if I sack one of my permanents to play this a turn early that also wants to sack another permanent, it's a little less exciting. So I'm just not going to have a ton of super expendable stuff by the time I do that all. Although I guess, I mean, we sack the Mirth to the Ripper. Ooh, alright. No treasure token necessary. I'm just going to rip that Orphans out of here so that it doesn't trade into the 3-2. Beautiful. We're burning the Orphans again. Let's go. Send in 4. A little awkward with double 5-drop right now. Let's see. Unidentified hover ship. Goodbye, Piggy Bank. You will come back sometime years from now. These draws suck. Great target for the Ripper. Love to see that. The slightly sad part is they can crew the hover ship in response to me killing it. So I still won't be able to attack with Percussionist this turn, but still super worth it. If this were a Fear of Lost Teeth, it could attack here. Alright, that's still a 1-for-1 trade. I'll trade into a Horde Vigor. 5 mana 2/2. Or sorry, 5 mana for a 4/4 plus a 2/2 plus make them discard a card. Pretty efficient. We found the Horde Collar. Shrewd Storyteller. Good luck making it through a board full of... oh, it doesn't have to because they have a vehicle. Oh, no. Okay, never mind. That's really bad. What does it do? +1/+1 counter on a creature. So it's going to juice up their blocker or their hover ship. Oh god, yeah, I forgot about the whole vehicle plus survival combo because there are only rare vehicles in this format. And I think the reason there are only rare vehicles in the format is because it is so powerful to crew vehicles with survival creatures. Yeah, this is not good. Another Ripper would kill nothing. I guess if Surveillance blocks Percussionist, then we play Ripper and kill the Fear of Surveillance. If it blocks our face down, then we flip our face down up. And Arena's going to hold for them for the rest of the games. This doesn't even mean they have a trick. It's because they have a hover ship. They can crew it even if it's tapped. Alright, I'm going to let the auto-tapper choose which 1-drop I play. No, I'm not. I should play Fear of Lost Teeth. Because if I play Fear of Lost Teeth, then I can sack it to a Ripper next turn and kill the Storyteller. It would have been funny to let Arena decide, though. Which one drop do I play? Plus, Percussionist has haste, so I can just play it the turn I want to attack with it. Alright, they're over it. Too many 4/4s. Their board's a little too small. 4/4s all day long is enough to find the victory, and we're 4-2. A positive record out of this draft no matter what. Heading into game number 7. Ooh, Screaming Nemesis, my love. This is the MVP of this deck by so much, but it's also a mythic rare, so obviously it's gonna be. But I don't think I'm gonna forget that buff our opponent's creature pre-Tyvar to deal 14 to their face. I don't think I'm gonna forget that until this format is over with. That's gotta be in the clip compilation. Best plays of the format. That would be a fun video. If I have more time to edit stuff, that might be something to do when the format's done. Why is there a fruit fly? Gotta go get another fruit fly trap. There's always just one, and it always just comes right to my desk. It's like, hey, where's all the food? It's in the cabinets in the fridge. Don't come over here. There's no food in here. Alright, I completely lost my train of thought because I'm getting harassed right now. Oh, right. I think that'd be a fun idea. I don't know if any of you would be into that, but do just like a top 5 or top 10 plays of the format when the next set comes out. I would probably forget a lot of what had happened over the course of the format, so maybe I could do like a poll where you all like post what were your favorite moments to put into the compilation. I don't know. I think it'd be fun. Awkward that all we have to cast there is removal. My opponent's on my favorite archetype, not in terms of it being the strongest in the format, but in terms of the most fun I have had. Blue-red control. Blue-red rooms control specifically. Okay, they are on a strong version of the deck. They've got the Misty Salon. I can definitely kill that, which is good. They're at 8 already. Fanatic. Discard the Glassworks, I'm thinking, awkwardly. Because it's not big enough to kill the gigantic flyer they're going to get as a blocker here. I really want to be able to Ripper their face coming up. Last couple points of damage. You know, I should have played land for turn, then I could play Ripper and Vengeance if I top deck another land. I was just thinking, what if they play Fanatic? They're on blue-red, they're not going to play Fanatic. Okay, Glassworks, my 2/2. 3 mana up. No! 4 mana up! Don't do it. I guess they could make the 3/3 before they make the big flyer. Yeah. God dang it. And there's the land to punish me. I'm going to put them to 4, which is dead to 1 Ripper hit here. And then I can use the Ripper to kill the face down. Once the face down is dead,
you're unstoppable.
They make their big flyer, and I exile their big flyer to kill them with Ripper next turn. That's the plan. I guess I have to have a creature enchantment get hit off of this Percussionist in order to do that. And somebody followed the Twitch channel. Thank you for the follow, CryoMV. Oh wow, we hit a creature off the top. My god. Busted draw is busted. Now we just have on board lethal even. They make the really big flyer and I just attack with 2 4/4s and one gets through. Yep. Does their last card in hand save them from 2/4/4s jamming in? Hopefully not. I kind of think I should try to cast the Final Vengeance here. No, I mean, they're blue-red. What could they have? Instant speed bounce? No, we move to combat. Okay. Cool. Then no attacks. And I save this if I top deck something smaller to exile the spirit with. And now they just cast a draw spell next turn and see what they hit. This could also get them to attack with the flyer, which makes us more likely to randomly find lethal by clearing out a blocker. Land blocker are the draws. They're going to shuffle in the Horde Caller. Fair enough, they're going to shuffle in the Horde Caller. No attacks. Ticket Booth and Tunnel of Hate. Set up the Ticket Booth. And then I can sack the Ticket Booth to the Final Vengeance to force an Erratic Apparition chump. Okay, that time I tapped wrong like an idiot. That was not Auto-Tapper's fault, that was mine. I think I sacked the Ticket Booth over sacking the 2/2 here. Because I'm not going to need double strike when they're at 4. 4 damage is just lethal already. No, my 4/4 is a 0/2. At least the 2/2 can kill them in 2 hits. Okay. Bad draw's bad, but our opponent missed as well. They can't deal with this 2/2 yet. They've got 1 turn to find something to deal with it. Fear of being hunted works. They can trade on blocks. Taking 2 damage a turn. We're on a 10-turn clock. Forced trade. Got a lot of lethal top decks, I'm sure. Horde Caller. There's 2 Horde Callers we could draw because they shuffled the other back in. It's not in our grave or in exile. There's the Boiler Bilge's Ripper we can draw. A lot of lethal draws. I wonder if we get the Manifest. Yeah, we do. I don't know if it like removes the text posthumously or whatever. Whatever it's called. Removes the text of cards that we put on it afterward. No, it doesn't. The 0/2 with no abilities, but if I add text to it later, it does still gain those abilities. Alright. We do find the win in the end. Is that our 5th win? Lord have mercy, we have 5 wins with the Hellraiser deck. We are in the money, leaving this draft with more gems than we paid into it. Wonderful spot to be as we head into game number 8. Right, game 8, we're curving out. Fear of Lost Teeth into a piggy bank. Let me swamp. There we go. If I draw any 2 or 3 mana cards, this hand's going to be wonderful. Just anything to spit out on turn 3. It's going to go a long way. Alright, final draw step. Do we get a turn 3 play? Technically. This must be a good face down. They did not trade into Fear of Lost Teeth or Piggy Bank there. Ooh, that's a draw. So I don't get to Machete, but I can have Percussionist trade here and then draw the card off of it. Oh, or Piggy Bank can just trade and then I can play Horde Caller right now. Never mind on the whole Horde Caller thing. It was a very good card to manifest. 3 mana, get a 5/4 off that manifest trigger. Ooh, screamy neemy. Sorry, Horde Caller. I have to keep the pressure on. If I don't top deck a basic, you're going to be really mad at me. But I gotta do what I gotta do, Horde Caller. That moment when you want your opponent to play a 13 power creature, do it. Brood Spinner, that's a bunch of little creatures. That's not what I want. That's like 1,000,000 blocks. If they get to 6 mana. I want one super duper big creature to damage my Screaming Nemesis. Those are just permanent +1/+1 counters? Alright. Now Horde Caller's ruining my day. Or I'm ruining Horde Caller's day, whichever way you want to put it. +2/+1. One Percussionist. Draw my land. Good monkey. Good monkey. Now I can definitely play Horde Caller next turn. I think I'm spreading out my threats for now, though. Excuse me. Two House Cartographer. It's probably not surviving, so just a 2/2. What is this card, by the way? They made a double Hunt the Week for 2 mana? You have to have Delirium. Oh, it's not even a fight? Good Lord. You fool. Now I get to have Horde Caller actually kill something as I make my 1/1. I really gotta get a drink after this game if I win, which is a big if right now. If I do win, it's starting to look like it is going to be off of Surprise Nemesis. Block a 5/4 or something. Take a Booth Rat here. Get defensive. Sad to mill that. Pretty happy to mill those, though. Alright, Unstoppable Slasher, super bad for me. I need to put them to 4. I'm gonna need to put them to 6 is what I need to do. Block, they're at 7. If I get them to 6, Fear of Lost Teeth gets them to 5. So I have to do this. 11 damage on the crackback is not lethal. And it's more than that because the slasher too. But importantly, it's not lethal a crackback. Okay, we got them to 5, but I'm 1 mana off from flipping up the Nemesis and killing them right now, so I need to be able to survive another attack, and they just have the Dragon Fire. Alright. Well, I think that was our best bet. The double Beastie Beatdown was 100% the winner of the game there. That was absurd at stopping our aggro. Just juicing the actual heck out of the blockers there while clearing out our best creatures. Alright, that's about all we could have done. Guess I could still technically draw into the thing that sacks things to drain them for life, but outside of that, don't think we have more outs at this point. Oh, I mean, Murder's a pretty good one. Oh god, it's so close. I can put them to 1 and die on the crackback. Or put them to 2 and then Trump to put them to 1. Oh, it's instant speed? Oh no, it doesn't matter. I forgot that thing's instant speed. Why is the Ghost Vacuum that's a rare sorcery speed, but the uncommon Brood Spinner's an instant? Okay. Since that card's an instant, we had no outs. It didn't matter. Even if I hit the thing that's sacked to gain life, we're dying to all these flyers. Yeah, if that were sorcery speed, then I guess we had potential outs there, but the fact that that's an instant game is super over. Alright, again, I think 100% just decided by that double Beastie Beatdown. That was disgusting. And 6 and 3, no, 5 and 3, it will be. Still great value out of this deck. Getting more gems than we paid into the draft. Pretty happy to be there. I really like this archetype. I think it's pretty powerful. I'm happy with the way I navigated that draft, seeing the late Disturbing Mirth and moving into Rakdos Sacrifice. But I do think this deck was certainly a little bit lacking, and that's what kind of pulled it away from a 7-win run. Certainly playing a little bit of filler in here, like a Fanatic, a Leech, and it's maybe a little high on these 1-drops. Like, these are fine in this deck. I don't think you need, like, 4 of them, though. If we could swap these and maybe one or two of the 1-drops for better 2 and 3 mana creatures to really get the curve ticking, that would have made a really powerful deck, potentially a 7 winner there. That was the big area where we were lacking here. But we had solid removal with Murder, Glassworks, Dragonfire, Vengeance, the excellent Turn Inside Out trick, the Mirths for sack cards, the Egotist for a sack card. Pretty much every other base was covered pretty well with the deck, and obviously the Horde Callers as finishers was great. So just a little bit better mid-rangey, well, a little bit better early game creatures, just not all locked into the 1-drop slot. Could have made this deck pretty perfect, but it was still pretty good. And we get a fitting record at 5-3 for 1,600 gems and 4 packs as the final prize out today. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more like it, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.